Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today, cryptocurrencies in red. Last 24 hours, the price has been moving to the downside. Looking at XRP on an hourly, we can see that the price is not showing that much good sign. It's showing that the price can revisit the previous lows or at least till the standard deviation area. Now that's for technical. Now we'll actually discuss through the technical in detail for different time frames using different technical indicators. Before that, we'll go through some of the interesting information which will provide better insights of what's happening as of now. Now these are from Twitter, and it's from various individuals showing different news articles about both XRP and BTC, showing the negative and positive perspectives for XRP and BTC. Now before we discuss all of these, I would like to request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a regular basis, please do support the channel. Please do subscribe and like the contents I provide. If you guys have any comments, please let me know in the comment section below. If it's possible to improve, I'll accept almost every suggestions which you can give me to improve the channel. Now, at first, I'll play this video and let you guys decide for your own, instead of trying to speculate whether it's XRP or any other digital assets.
Pretty wide set of.
So we'll start from the
again
beginning.
On cryptocurrency. I think there's a pretty wide set of. It's a very wide definition. So again, there's something like Bitcoin, which some people want to speculate in that. You can see an argument, well, why you might let that happen. Then, of course, there is other kinds of currencies which are more take the form of affecting payments on goods, making as a settlement currency, and that's where things get a little more complicated. Again, on cryptocurrency, I think.
Now I think you guys understood that, right? Yeah, they are not naming the asset as XRP, whereas they are actually showcasing that the use case for Bitcoin is like speculation, whereas there are other digital assets or cryptocurrencies which are used for payments, settling payment, right? So we know it's XRP as of now, who's dealing with multiple banks. So this is from Ripple itself. It's showing that looking ahead, discover 3 themes that will emerge in 2020 as digital assets and blockchain continue to underpin the world's financial future. Now we in this channel used to point out that, right, there's a new financial system coming up, and in the next 5 to 10 years, the financial system, the traditional financial system as we know, will be changed. Now, if you actually go through this, you can actually understand that digital assets underpin consumer financial products. Now, yes, if you are someone who is sending money back to your home, you can feel that. Institutional adoption of digital assets accelerates. Yes, when one of top 10 are using that, the others will slowly jump into the wagon, try it, like experimenting. When they confirm that it's okay and you start using that, then the second tier, third tier banks and other financial institutions just directly jump into the wagon. They don't need much more time. Now the crypto industry evolves to keep pace. Yes, I don't know what they're explaining here. My perspective is like previously they told it's XRapid, right? It's using XRP. Now they actually rebranded it. I just see it like they're evolving their networks. At the same time, they just renamed or rebranded it to on-demand liquidity. So that's different. Now, for this particular one, a crypto push, we actually discussed it in one of our video previously, in which we highlighted that before it was crypto pump. The pump it down. Anyway, now it's crypto push. So that's actually a good thing. Now going back into that tweet. So as they showcase that 2020 is going to be a disruptive year. One of the reply for that is from the Roses on the Moon, showing that soon moon, right? Now this one is next one. Article which shows that XRP is a brilliant technology that thrives off Swift's failure by prominent economic analyst. Now, He is an US economist, Jeffrey Tucker. who serves as the editorial director at the American Institute of Economic Research. In his opinion, Ripple XRP is a brilliant technology. During a recent episode of Boom Bust on Russia Today, he explained that, I think that it's an extremely important technology that is thriving because it's thriving of a failure of this antique Swift system. You say antique. So that's a nice word to put on. Anyway, that's not a guy from XRP community, but whereas he is a scientist or a researcher who have brain. Anyway, Tucker said that XRP could potentially change the world, even though many man-on-the-street investors are not interested in this proprietary technology. Ripple is doing what legacy financial systems failed, providing fast money transfers in the age of rampant globalization. Moreover, according to the prominent economist, XRP is more valued in its stability than as means of conducting cross-border payments. Now that's it. XRP is more valued in its stability than as a means of cross-border payments. Now the word XRP and stability might sound ludicrous in the same sense, given that the token has depreciated more than 56% this year. However, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse stated that XRP was less volatile than Swift, since its transactions are nearly instantaneous. So that's a key, and it's not a security, we all know that, so I'm not going into that. So that's a key thing. It's not someone from the XRP community, but someone with brains from a research institute is showcasing that Ripple is thriving on a failure of antique system. Now this is from Northing, showing that if the adequate measures are in place, DA could also represent a new asset class for EU. Payments token could also present opportunities in terms of cheaper, faster and efficient payments. Now we know who is going to deal with payments, right? Moving to the next one, this is from MRC Baba Yaga. He's showing that 2018 we want to ban everything related to crypto. 2019 we were ready to release central bank digital currencies. 5 years in development. Huh? They tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So Fed now is not 2 to 3 years away. It's gonna be now. Because when China is actually doing this, I don't think the other countries want to use Chinese product like for financial institutions. Like say I'm reading this, according to the central bank, official testing of Chinese digital currency is complete, along with top level design, formulation and 5 years of research. The next phase is to begin pilot programs in advance of the digital currency official launch. China has been pushing to all the financial service industry, implementing new policies that promote mobile digital technology and particularly to rural areas. So if that's to happen, then as we just mentioned previously, a new financial institution is gonna come, and it's gonna happen, and it's happening, and it will be soon. It won't take much. Now this is showing that Visa is teaming up with TD Bank to introduce a new solution to ease money transfer between Canadian and US accounts. Now that was an announcement on 23rd. So if you guys want to go through that, you can visit Hodl at Hodl Style. Now again, it's from Northing. Is the United States all set to regulate cryptocurrencies? If that is it, that's gonna be a good news. Even if it is a draft law, then yes, there is a chance that it's gonna happen soon. If they are gonna come up with a new bill, and if it gets passed, then that's gonna be huge, considering China, South Korea, Switzerland, Luxembourg, other countries are way ahead in this particular aspect. So this is from XRP Gator, showing that XRP news for our community. That's Flash FX co-founder. ODL may take time. Swift always will be there. Say existing financial institutions will be around 10,000 to 11,000, and Swift has them all, right? So considering that Ripple is just having around 300 to 600 customers, that's not that big. But within the next 5 to 10 years, I can say that they may be there for some of the aspects, but not for all of the aspects. Say if they want to settle a currency in a fiat with less cost and instantaneous payment settlement, they will of course use Ripple. Whereas if they want to use more or less domestic payments, where at present there is no much big issues using SWIFT network, then cool, they'll use that itself. But at least for cross-border payments, I personally think that ODL will be there, but it can take a bit of time. Say, the traditional industry guys don't have that much brain, so I can say that if they are not looking at the disruption, then they will be disrupted and they will be pushed to use it. Now, Chinese authorities have seized nearly 7,000 crypto mining machines, illegally consuming electric power. So yes, as we stated in our previous video, anything can happen from China. Say 50% or more mining is from China, and if some of them are doing anything illegal, they'll just seize it, so the supply gets dented. So you should be cautious about that too. Now moving on to the next one, this is from Michael. In a recent report, Kuwait Finance House has recently hinted about its success in a cross-border payment service over the year. It said it occurred over 100 million transactions using RippleNet and some other payment solutions to foster its services. Now that's huge news, guys, because this is not a small bank. It's Kuwait Finance House informing that they already acquired 100 million in transaction, and they are also using Ripple, the technology. So yes, it's XCurrent as highlighted by Chinnu Patel, not XRP or on-demand liquidity. But yes, when they see they are saving something using XCurrent, and they come to know that if they use ODL, then they can reduce it even more. Say they are paying $10 now. If they use ODL, they should only pay $2. Then yeah, automatically they'll move on to that. Now this is the next one from Manuel Hendris, saying Spain tests real-time blockchain payment system. So that's double up on your XRP. Showing now, yeah, it's stating because Christine Lagarde is already there, and we already know that many times she has discussed about what we believe. So if we just jump into that article, what we understand is Christine Lagarde lodges fresh criticism at Libra. Now that's not new, right? And towards the cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, she also talked like it's not, we are not talking about the old Bitcoins now. So you know that. Anyway, a handful of Spain's largest bank plan to test a payment platform that would be used a blockchain network for a real-time interbank transactions. Now, the banks include Banco Sabadell, Bank of Santander. Now, we know Bank of Santander, BBA. So, the Bankia and others. The institution will work with Liberpay, which manages Spain's payment system to execute instant transfer through smart contracts. So, that's better, right? Now, the financial institutions are actually moving towards blockchain. They are moving towards better. Now, new defenses in an interview with David Marcus, who's leading Libra project, gave a fresh defense saying he would have initially positioned Libra as a payment system and not a new currency. Marcus contends to view Libra as a currency, drew a more emotional response from the public and from politicians. Now, the politicians, they care about their shared fiat currencies, whether it's depreciating or, getting crushed like some in the countries like Venezuela and others, which has just restructured its leadership, has purchased a stake in eMonkey, a Vietnamese e-wallet provider, for an aggressive acquisition strategy in Southeast Asia as the company looks to expand its Alipay and Alibaba business. So yeah, there's a lot happening in that particular aspects in the fundamentals. Now we'll go back into the technicals and look at what's happening in the charts, what the price is showing us. As we just discussed in the 1 hour chart of XRP, we can see that the price is actually moving to the downside. This actually made it here. Now the pattern is showing that the price can actually come to the downside. So what we'll do is we'll just compare. As we discussed yesterday, we zoom a bit out, we can see a similar trend being formed here. See, we were showing this, but the price broke to the downside. So we are actually kind of repeating that pattern here, but it has to be seen whether the price is going to make new lows. I'm not sure about that, but personally I think that the price can actually come back down to say 0.18, then to 0.17 area where the previous low is there. Now if we actually zoom out and look at the daily chart comparing the MACD, RSI and the price, I would like to highlight that, say, in this particular area, the RSI is actually oversold, right? Here also the RSI is oversold. Now that's kind of a double bottom in the RSI. Now when we look at the oversold area of RSI and the price, say we will look at each instant. Yeah, currently it's still oversold and we're just moving from there. There's no price movement to the upside yet, but looking at the previous scenario, we understand that there was a push up, then gradually it went to the upside. So looking at the next case, it's somewhere here, right? The price dipped below once, twice, and then boom, it went to the upside. Now looking at the other case here, 1, 2, and the second one is even lower, then the price went to the upside, boom. So if you look at that again in another scenario, you can see that the price went to oversold area, and then yes, it went a lot upside. Say the price went from 0.47 to 0.96, it doubled. So during each time, if you compare when the price was below here or in the oversold area, and if you accumulated in that area, you can see that the price is going to the upside from there. Yeah, there may be a retest, but at the end of the day, it was moving to the upside. Now moving even further lower and looking at the MACD, I'll just move this one here so that MACD is visible. So in this particular case, we can see that the RSI is making double bottom. The MACD was about to close to the upside. Yeah, looking at here, say we don't know what's happening in the future. The price is just going to the downside. So we can just see that the price has just made, the RSI has just made a double bottom and the MACD is about to close to the upside. Then the price went to the upside. So if you look at here, it's the same. The price came into the oversold position. The RSI highlights that the price is in the oversold area, then moved to the upside. So if we actually do the same, we can repeat this over and over and over again. Whereas what we have to check is currently where the RSI is, what the MACD is showing us. Say the MACD is showing us that it's moving to the upside. Yeah, kind of parallel here, but there is a potential chance that it can move to the upside if you zoom out and see that. And at the same time, you can see that the RSI has already made kind of a double bottom and it came back into this area. So yes, I believe the price is going to move to the upside, but before that, I think the price can actually retest the previous low which it put recently. Because if you have a look at that in a weekly chart, say there's a log scale weekly chart for XRP, and if you see that, yes, the price and the MACD RSI is showing something good. Something good in the sense, say the RSI is just crossed below the previous support. It's now at the bottom. So last time this happened was like this. Say the price, I'm sorry about that. Now, yeah, when you consider this, the previous was like this. The price went down and the RSI showcased it. Then it went to the upside. So that was a good news there. So yes, but in the meantime, it actually took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks for that to happen. So you should be more patient. That's all I have to state while looking at the XRP USD chart. Instead, now we'll go to XRP USD chart and check what's happening for this particular asset. Now, as we know that it's already been correcting there, it just in this weekly chart, and it already shows you that the positive wick. Now that's a positive news. If you ask me, I consider that it should be a buying area. Now that looks like a double bottom too, and the price is breaking to the upside after making this bullish flag. So the bullish flag is like this. Say it moved up like this, it made it, then it broke to the upside. Now it come back down, retest, and it should move to the upside. So we'll go into the 4-hour chart and check that. So if you can zoom in then into a 4-hour chart, you can see that the price went here, it made a flag, it went to the upside. Now it should come back or retest this area and bounce to the upside. So if it is bouncing to the upside, that should be considered as a potential buying area. Now this is LTC, and you can see a similar pattern forming here to that of Bitcoin. See, it made a flag here, it went to the upside, now it's retesting that area. So if it's bouncing, then it should be a new trend starting here. But what you have to keep in mind is there is a long-term trend resistance line here, so we can place it somewhere like this as of now. And yeah, I think that's not that bad. If we just put it like this, yeah, we are at the resistance line now. We just came back to retest the previous area. So if we manage to break above this, then I don't think we'll have retest like this. Instead it may be like this. So if we get this, you should be buying the breakout, but yes, you should be waiting to get a confirmation that it's a breakout instead of a fake out. Now we'll just check Ethereum chart in USD, and this is a 4-hour chart of Ethereum, and you can see for Ethereum it's a bit different compared to that of LTC. If you plot these lines, then you can see that there has been previous support in this area, and it was also acting as a resistance area. They say this is support, this was support, then it was resisting, then became support, resistance. So now this should actually act as a resistance for Ethereum here, because if you plot another line here, if connecting all these support areas, you can see that then the next one will be around here, 168, 170. So this should be kind of a buying area because the price is low. When I say buying area, it's my personal opinion based on the charts, because I consider low price as a better option to buy in rather than buying this asset class when it is moving to the upside. See, when it is around 300, 500, yeah, it's okay to buy if you're a short-term trader, but for me, I look at this asset class in a long term. My perspective is like at least 2 to 5 years from here. So I've been holding from last 3 years. So say I consider myself as a long-term investor in this particular asset class because I believe in this new financial system. So anyway, if it's gonna come back above, then yes, it will be having a resistance somewhere here around 500, then again here. Yes, but in order to make that, we need the price to come above all these areas. Now if we look at the MACD and the RSI, we can see that the double bottom in RSI has already been made. Now the MACD is crossing to the upside on a daily. That's actually a good news for Ether in MACD terms, but we have to manage the price to go above 140, then in the range previously traded, then above that, that's above 170. Now we actually went through all of these news articles are actually in my Twitter account. If you guys go into my Twitter profile, you can get all of these news and extra news, you see, you know, which is happening recently. I actually shared all of those. So if you guys want to go through that, I'll put a link of the account in the description below. And as I informed you guys previously, if you guys have any suggestions which can improve the channel or the contents I provide on a regular basis, please do let me know in the comment section below. As this is a new channel, I need support from you guys, especially, you know, as an XRP community member. I kindly request you all to subscribe to the channel and like the content I provide. I'll meet you guys on my next video. Bye for now.